They don't want to tell everything. They want to keep a little part of it secret so no one knows what you really had to go through in your childhood. But it's not right.
My name is Priscilla Hunt Dewberry.
Hello, my name is Belinda Hunt Flint from Dublin, Georgia. I have 4 children and 12 grandchildren.
My name is Letitia Howard. My maiden name was Lattimore. I am a mother, a wife.
I'm a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, a friend, and a companion, and a babysitter. Whatever they need me to be, that's what I am in the family. I raised my oldest daughters, 2 daughters. I raised them up until they graduated from high school, until they got married, because I feel like that's my life, that's what I was put here for, is to take care of my family, is to help raise my children and help raise my grandchildren and help raise my great-grandchildren. So I don't regret that at all.
Being raised by my grandmother rather than my mother was hard because I didn't get the opportunity to experience the things that other females or women or children experience as far as having your mother there with you to go through every single important moment in your life. I'm thankful for her taking the time to raise us because I know that she did not have to, but I still wish that I had been raised by my mom.
When I got married to my youngest 2 children's father, we were moving to McCray, and I asked the girls, because they were so used to being around my mama and my stepdad, I asked them if they wanted to come with me or go with me to stay with their grandparents, or they want to stay with me. But their answer was they wanted to stay here. They didn't want to leave their friends, and they were just more comfortable being there. I regret leaving them with them. It's because of some things that happened in their lives. I think never should have happened, and I should have been their mother and took care of them. But the pattern of the kids staying with their grandparents, that was in my life. I stayed with my grandmama. She raised me.
I was a little upset because I felt like my mom didn't want to raise us, like we weren't as important. I know better now, but at that time, being a child, you just feel like, okay, why am I not good enough to be raised by my mom? Why do I have to be raised by my grandmother? Even though the choice was ours, we chose to go live with our grandmother. I felt like my mom could have fought for us to live with her a little bit more.
So when I first lived with my big mama, I was probably about 5 till I probably got from 5 to 8. And then my mom came back to Georgia, and then we had to live with her. But we all lived in a house with my grandmama. So as long as I was with my grandmother, everything was good.
And why you moved with your grandmother?
Yes, because my stepfather was abusive.
Yeah, he was abusive. I guess I was young, didn't know too much. And then I was sort of scared, scared and stuff like that. But I
knew she was afraid. I knew she was afraid of him. But also you had children. She had children by this man. And me and my other brother were not his. So, it was crazy how you can allow someone. She could have called the police. She could have got away from him. But she chose to stay with this abusive man.
So you don't forget nothing like that. It affected me too. And I can understand how they feel, But you don't get over nothing like that.
My stepfather, he thought that that's how men were supposed to be. He thought you were supposed to bow down to them. He thought he was supposed to be in control of everything. If you didn't do it his way, oh, you got beat. I think we would have had a better life if he was not a part of the picture. If my stepfather was not a part of the picture, I think my life would have been totally different. I know my life would have been totally different than what it was. Because when I would rebel, it would be because I'm having to live in a house with a man that's abusive and my mama didn't care. She stayed and she allowed it. And I think that's why I stayed with my ex-husband so long, is because that was what I was used to. My ex-husband was great when we first got together. But he got on drugs and he would beat me. In 2005, I was at work. Well, I had separated from him. First off, we had separated. And I went to work. And normally when the first person gets to work, they unlock the door and leave it open for the other employees to come in. And he had been waiting outside for me for probably about 2 hours from what the police said. He came in and he stabbed me 3 times. Then he cut himself and told the police that I did it, but they knew I didn't. He held me in a room for probably about 20 minutes. The police were in the building, but because the building was being so big, they could not find me. They could hear me screaming, but they couldn't find me. And when they did they called back, spoke to one of the girls, and they told them where I was at. And when they got there, they busted in the door, and they told him 3 times, drop the knife, because he had a knife to my neck, telling me he was gonna kill me and kill himself. And they finally got him. The 3rd time, they said if he didn't drop the knife, they was gonna blow his brains out. And he dropped the knife, and the police officer was able to grab me and get me to the hospital because I was bleeding everywhere.
He was a great grandfather to my children, but he wasn't a great husband to my mom, and he wasn't a great stepfather or father, in my opinion. I feel like he took my mom away from me. I feel like if he hadn't come around, I would have been able to be raised by my mom. I feel like I would have had a closer bond with her, and I wouldn't have lost so many years. I have forgiven him, but it still hurts to know the pain that he caused my mom. I guess I've never really addressed the pains that he caused me.
I mean, I forgave him for what he did, but I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to see him. I do not have a relationship with him at all. It was bad. It was really bad. Real bad.
So that's why we didn't live with my mom. That's why she didn't raise us, because my sister and I were afraid to live with them because he abused her. He was physically and mentally abusive to her. So it put fear in me. It put fear in my sister. I think I was more afraid than she was, even though I'm the oldest. I feel like I was more afraid. I couldn't take it. I had bad nerves. I couldn't sleep. I was always wondering if he was going to hit her again, or if he was going to, just say something to her that would cause an argument.
My mom went through it. I had to go through it. So, I mean, I didn't have to go through it, but I did because it was a pattern.
When somebody tried to manipulate you and try to keep you isolated from your family or from your friends and stuff like that, and then try to make you scared and stuff. Your children see you a different way. Oh, well, mama not protecting us. My relationship with my mother was a strange relationship. She didn't deal with me. She didn't tell me the facts of life. She didn't tell me things that I needed to know as I'm growing up. I had my first child when I was 16. I had my second child when I was 17. I didn't have nobody to teach me about the world, about what was out there. I had to find all this out myself. By experiencing it for myself, I didn't have no one to teach me. Until later on in life, when I met this lady, and she helped me out a whole lot. Oh, her name was Robbie Wright, and she was my friend for years, and she passed maybe about 5 years ago. She was about 30 years older than I was, and she helped me out with a lot of things that I didn't know, and that helped me to get stronger. My relationship with my mother, it changed over the years. When she got sick, I moved her in with us, and I took care of her until she passed. I miss her every day. She had a strong role in the family. She kept everything running smoothly. I guess that's what I took after her, to make sure that in my family, I just try to make everything run smooth in the family like she did. She made sure that everything was taken care of in the family. It devastated me with her passing. Because see, she stayed with me for 12 years. I was teasing her. I told my daughter, but I was teasing. I knew it was fun. I said, you know what, Pam? I said, I should go down there to Dudley and tell them that I want them to dig her up and bring the casket over here and put it on the porch so I can go and sit out there on the porch and talk to her.
No, if I was my mom, what I would have done was I would have been able to talk to my children. I would have protected my children. And I would not have let a man do the things that he did to my children. I would have left that man. He would have had to go. I've always felt this way. We never talked about it because she didn't want to talk about it. I tried to have a conversation with her about this when I was married to my first husband. But she did not want to talk about it. She wanted to sweep it under the rug like most black people, like most black families do. They don't want to tell everything. They want to keep a little part of it secret so no one knows what you really had to go through in your childhood. But it's not right.
But I'm going to tell you now, that relationship with her, it's not a good relationship. I know that's the reason why our relationship is not good. But I hope it will be one day, but I know it's not. So I don't worry about that relationship. I mean, I done prayed about it, and I asked the Lord to forgive me.
See, it was different when I became a mother. We talked. We had a relationship back then, and we talked. It's just like, it's been probably about 14 years now that we have not had a relationship. So, and I was older then. I was like 40 years old. Probably the last time we actually had a relationship where we talked to each other. We would see each other on the regular. But right now, it's just nothing. Nothing at all.
There's nothing I can do about that relationship. I love her. There ain't nothing in the world I wouldn't do for her. But I just leave it at that.
Recently, I was in the hospital and she I saw her one day, and I haven't heard from her since. And that was like probably about January, February. We don't have a relationship. That's why we've never ever been able to say these things to each other. We do need to have a conversation, but it will be when she's ready and when I'm ready. If something happens to her and we've not spoken or told each other how we felt or ironed out our differences, I think it'll something that will linger with me until I die.
Not being raised by my mother made me a stronger mother, because I know the feeling of not having your mother around, and I never wanted that feeling for my children. So I made a promise to myself that when I had children, that I would raise my children myself. I would not allow them to be raised by anyone else, and I would do what I had to do to make sure that I was there for them no matter what. If I could go back in the past and talk to my mom and talk to the person that she was then, I would tell her that she doesn't have to settle for someone who doesn't value her or doesn't truly care about her. Because any man that really cares about you is not going to abuse you in any way. Yes, you'll have your ups and downs. Yes, there'll be days where you feel like giving up, but you'll both be able to work together if you know that they truly love you. So I would tell her to love herself, to not settle. I would tell her that I love her and that I need her in my life. I would tell her that she's beautiful and that she can have anybody that she wants. I would tell her to leave him.
What my final wish would be? My final wish would be that all of my children will get together, that we all can get together and be a family like a family's supposed to be, that it will not be an estranged family.